Okay, I'm going to make it before I start. Be very careful how you use this information. You can use it for good and you can use it for bad. And it is about how to win an argument. It is fucking ninja, absolute ninja style. And if anybody knows my wife or my mum or my dad or my sisters or anybody close to me and my family, do not tell them this episode, because this is how I manage to turn around people and make them see what I see and make them act how I want to act in certain situations. And yes, I just said, don't do it for evil. And then there we are. I'm doing it for evil. No, I'm not really. But there's two ways to process this. There's a good way where you can be sympathetic and you can agree to close the argument with no falling out, or you can actually go that step further and you can make them understand and see your point of view. Right, I'm going to get into it. How to win an argument. Most people, this is what happens in most people's argument. Say my wife, Claire, says something. I immediately say it back to her, but I put a different slant on it. So, for example, I don't know. I'll say one. In the arcade the other day was at my son's birthday, and I snuck off and I changed £10. Yes, £10. And she comes up to me and goes, "What are you doing? You can't spend £10." I said, "Oh, sorry, Claire. Are you saying I can't spend £10? Wait 1 second. You've actually just spent £55,000 on a car today, and I can't spend £10." And that's what most people do. They re-say the argument, they re-say the point back to their partner or the person they're having an argument with, but they put a different slant on it, making it sound terrible. That is not the way to go to win an argument. All that does is rub the other person up the wrong way, and then you get in a back and forth with an argument. Their point, your point, their point, your point. You don't want to go down that route. Normal people do that. You listening to this podcast are not normal people. We want to zig when others are zagging. So how to win an argument is showcase their point of view in the best light. So, for example, with Claire, what I should have done is showcased the argument from her point of view. Saying, yeah, sorry, Claire, I understand this month's a very tight month because we're spending X amount of money on a car. We're doing this. It needs to be a deposit. I completely get it. It's £10 we shouldn't have spent. I'm sorry. I see your point of view. I'll tell you what, here's the £10 back. Or something to that effect. I'm just bawling right now. I have no idea what I'd have actually said in that situation if I'd have done it the right way. And then she can react in two different ways. She can say, "Oh, no." She will be more sympathetic to you because you are sympathetic to her. People mirror each other's behavior. So if you're on a meal, then if you cross your arms, somebody else will cross their arms as well. It is fascinating what happens. If you pick up your drink, somebody else on the other side will pick up their drink. If you're having a coffee with somebody, people mirror people's reactions and whatever they're doing. People mirror it, and the reason why they do it is because they feel connected to you. They don't want to be a standalone. They don't want to stand out. So the reason why people mirror is because we feel more connected and less alone. So it's just a psychological behavior. So what happens is Claire will sympathize with me, I'll sympathize with her, boom, argument over. However, if you want to go one way, I mean, that is the best way to do it, by the way, because you don't want to ever manipulate yourself to win an argument with people you care about, but you can do if you want. But I personally believe, and it's sometimes so hard because you feel like you're right. I mean, I felt like, holy shit, you spent 50 grand on a car and I'm spending £10 on an arcade. Are you fucking mental? Of course I can do it. No, sod off. I mean, I'm enjoying my £10. But that's in my head. I would never say that. Well, I shouldn't say that because it is just going to light the fire, and therefore that £10 is going to be a big argument and it's not worth it. Insert whatever argument you want there, whatever it is in your relationship. So if you mirror their behavior and you sympathize, but you don't just sympathize because normally they're coming from an emotional point of view. So Claire's coming at me emotionally. And so I can showcase her argument better than she can showcase her argument, because I'm not emotional. So I can take what she says and I can showcase it better than what she can and put it in a nice bow, a nice package, and therefore she will sympathize with me because I'm actually making stronger her point of view. So that way, the other person can see that you are seeing their point of view and you are understanding them. Once their guard is down, then you can start turning the argument round, but still being sympathetic and saying, and so I understand where you're coming from. However, if you look at it from my point of view, that's how you can get your point of view in. But you've got to be very careful. I think number one is the best way to go. Absolutely. But sometimes it's very, very hard. And equally, we all want to win an argument. We all want to just win an argument because we disagree. If people say you're argumentative, well, you're argumentative. You're arguing with me as well. So you win arguments because we want other people to see our point of view. Ultimately, we want them to see what we see. And that's it, and agree with us. And that's what everybody's doing. So you can either win by, number one, not having an argument at all and show the other person you're very, very sympathetic and understand and showcase their point of view. That's what I would do. However, once you get their guard down and you get their sympathy and you can see that you're sympathetic and sympathize with their point of view, then you can start twisting it a little bit and then you can get your point across, and they're going to be more receptible to your point of view because you was more receptible to their point of view. Remember, mirroring, the more we mirror the person, the more they will mirror you. And so if you're more receptible to their point of view, they will be in turn more receptible to you. And I promise you, this really does work, and it works. The better you get at it, the more you practice it, it really does work. It's fantastic. So please don't tell Claire. Nobody tell Claire about this episode. She never ever listens to my thingies anyway, podcast, so that's good. And nobody tell my sisters or my mum or dad or anybody close to me, because this is ninja shit. It really works. And you come across like an amazing person because you're sympathizing with them. You're showcasing their point of view and you're showing the other person more importantly, especially for your wife. Because I don't know about everybody else's wife, but all I know is that my wife wants to be heard, and you are showcasing them that you've not just listened to them, you've heard them. Oh, I hear that all the time. You don't listen to me. You listen to me, but you don't hear me. I'm like, what? What the fuck is that about? What do you mean? So you're showcasing that you're listening, but you've also heard them as well. And you're showcasing their point of view, so therefore they become more sympathetic. Guys, girls, it is wonderful. And I'm not saying... I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about Jojo, my VA, like listening to this and thinking, "Holy shit, Dean is really an absolute bastard of a person." I'm not. I promise you. I just enjoy psychological behavior with people, and the best person in the world to do this to is my friend Liam, because he gets so emotional about something and I can turn him around so quickly. It is super. And so, yes, I do sometimes, depends on what mood I'm in, because sometimes I like playing with people as well. So Liam sometimes listens to this. I know some people who know Liam listens to this. Liam is the best person in the world to do this to, because if you sympathize with if you go against Liam with an argument, you butt heads and you will never, ever win, because Liam is very, very smart, incredibly data driven, and you just will not get the better of him in an argument. However, unless you go through the back door is where you sympathize with him, let his guard down, and then you attack from behind. What is it? The Trojan Horse. It is the Trojan Horse for arguments. And Liam is so fun to do this with. I love it. Usually the day we did this and that, I thought, oh shit, it's got to have this one. So I went around the back door and unlocked it from the back door, opened the door, and in I went, and there we go. Push. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it is super duper how to win an argument, but use this for good, don't use this for bad. All right, my friends, tomorrow we're talking about if you're in doubt, then yeah, that's it. All right, see you soon. Bye.